So, the Minecraft movie is absolute garbage. I'm not beating around the bush, okay, with this one. This is a terrible, terrible movie, in my opinion. Honestly, it doesn't come as a surprise since the trailers and marketing have made me and others cringe so many times with its unfunny humor and seemingly over reliance on making modern references or non sequiturs just for the sake of making them for little rhyme or reason. But despite that, I was still willing to give it a chance despite the terrible trailers and marketing. However, it fails for a variety of reasons. You know, before I even talk about the film itself, I do want to talk about Minecraft. People don't know this movie is a loose adaptation, let's say, of Minecraft, which is this cool, it's really interesting kind of like building game where a world is generated for you, you're placed in that world, and you can do so many different things in it. Like you can build all sorts of objects and structures out of different material, whether it be dirt or wood or stone or iron or so many other elements and items. You can also like mine in the deep underground of the world and uncover all sorts of resources like iron and diamonds and gold and stuff. You can explore different dimensions, encounter all sorts of creatures like zombies or creepers that explode if you get too close to them, or skeletons that ride spiders. Like it's like really crazy, over the top, but it's also at the same time very relaxing. And I have played Minecraft, I've indulged it. I remember when it first came out because it was already a huge hit on PC. And still a very popular game to this day. You have numerous creators that have led extremely successful careers as content creators, just producing Minecraft content, showcasing all the ways to do it. But I first got into Minecraft when it was eventually ported over to consoles, specifically the Xbox 360. And I played it, and I did my own little dirt house. I ran inside when the nightfall came and had to deal with skeletons and zombies and stuff. And I did all these different things, built like a better house, built a farm, was mining for all sorts of rare things, went to the Nether and all these other areas and dimensions, fought the Ender Dragon. Like I did all that. And I put a good amount of time, like a couple dozen hours in. I was like, all right, it was fun, and I moved on. But other people like played even more and have continued to do so, and more power to them. Like, it's not my kind of like go-to game, but a lot of people love it. Now when it comes to so when it was announced that they were going to do an adaptation, it just made sense. It's like, of course you're going to do an adaptation. As you should. It's a huge worldwide phenomenon. And you could take it in so many different directions, right? And I don't know, I guess my idea for a Minecraft film would be like an animated movie. I think it'd be cool. And that's not what they did. That's not what they did with this film. They said, like, that's cool and all, make him an animated film and indulging in the world itself and, like all the possible characters and scenarios you can do and just showing you the wonder of this world and crafting. It's like, how about we actually, like, get Jack Black, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but when we just get Jack Black, who is at 11, and you team him up with a whole bunch of characters you can give a shit less about, who are just mean and loud, and they just say random shit that they think is funny or make modern references to things that are already outdated, and you just have them in the world of Minecraft, right? Make that movie, and that's what they made. That's exactly what they made, and it is not good for a variety of reasons. First of all, I have been lucky in the last few years that I haven't had too many bad theater experiences. That's not to say I haven't had bad theater experiences. Like a couple last year weren't that great. Ghostbusters had to sit with a very obnoxious group of Ghostbusters fans. They were clapping like fucking seals anytime they saw Slimer, the goddamn ghost, or Bill Murray went, hey, I'm Bill Murray. They went, wah! Crazy. Or like Craven the Hunter, the projector literally exploded, and so I had to sit through like the first 45 minutes of the movie again. Like I've had those, but man, I'll tell you what. Today's up there. Today, I would say, is the first bad theatrical experience that I've had this year, because I just had a demon child. I just had a little gremlin child who wouldn't shut the fuck up in the beginning of the movie. Well, even before that, when the trailer started, even before the trailers, when they sat down and they were doing the whole, the whole spiel. It's like, welcome to the theater. Here's our arcade. And here's the drinks, the over expensive food you can buy, like all that. And this kid was like doing a play-by-play of everything that he fucking saw. Everything his eyes saw, he was talking about it. It was a like, I think this kid's gonna get breath. I think his head's gonna explode. I think his little body's just gonna fucking give out, and we're gonna have to call the ambulance to help him. And then the trailers happened, and he was doing, and the parent was doing nothing to discourage him, I think. Because if he was, I couldn't hear him because the kid was so goddamn loud. And the theater was only like a fifth full, but I guess no one was doing anything because they're like, listen, this is the fucking Minecraft movie. Who gives a shit? But he was very annoying, and they had the trailers, and he was narrating all the trailers and stuff until, funny enough, the trailer that made him, didn't make him shut up. It actually made him louder. The How to Train Your Dragon remake trailer. That played, and it scared the ever-living shit out of him. He would start going, just crying and wailing. Not just crying, just like wails. Like a ghostly specter at the end of the theater was haunting a whole of us, chat. Except it was just in the body of a 6-year-old or something. And it scared the hell out of him. And he was crying and wailing, doing like the Superman teaser and everything. And the dad actually took him out of the theater. I could still hear him crying out, I want to go home. Why'd you take me here? This is horrible. Like all of that. And eventually brought him back in when the movie was finally starting. And then for the next 20 minutes, it was just the kid, like going back into the narrator mode, literally describing everything he was seeing on screen. I was like, I couldn't fucking believe it until something set him off again. Like at that 20-minute mark or whatever, something happened and he just started wailing and bawling again for the next 2.5 minutes. And then the father finally took him out again. It was like, Jesus Christ. So thankfully, I don't know. It wasn't the whole movie. Not that it matters because the movie itself is just a pile of shit. But it certainly wasn't a great start. Chat. But yeah, just a really annoying kid. At least I'm glad the father at least took him out. But my lord, come on. If you know your child, all right, and you know that they're not ready for like a theatrical experience because they literally can't control themselves and they can't stop babbling, then don't take them to a place where it behooves the audience, it behooves the people there to shut the fuck up, all right, and be quiet while the film is playing and stuff. It's fine to laugh and clap, but like, do that. If little kids are gonna do that, that's fine. Or they have a funny comment, but I don't need constant goddamn narration. That's at another level of being rude and nonsensical. And the parent and the guardian and the father, whoever, they should be aware of that, and they were aware of it. After really including the trailers and the marketing, 35 minutes in, it was like, okay, well, it took a little while for it, a little delayed. Any case, the plot of this movie, such as it is, essentially, again, this is set in the world of Minecraft, and you're following this group of 4 misfits, these 4 annoying people who are one-dimensional as all hell. There's nothing likable about them whatsoever. They all just are annoying and are rude to each other and just mean and loud. You have Garrett, the garbage man Garrison, who's played by Jason Momoa, who's essentially like this celebrity, if you will, from the 1980s, who is this, big, video game player. He's pretty much been coasting off of that reputation, over the last several decades, but is essentially a loser. And his life is falling apart, and he runs like a retro game store, but he doesn't know. But he's an idiot, so he doesn't know how to run it correctly. You have Henry and Natalie, who are this brother and sister who are moving to the small town that Jason Momoa lives in Idaho. Which has a goofy fucking name because they're named after this like potato chip company, and like their mom died because of course, and so you've seen this before. Like the sister is now in a parental role and she has to take care of the brother, right? And so she's like trying her best, but she just it's not good enough for the brother. And the brother is a nerd and he's like a creative type of person, and no one understands him and his inventions. She's like, "What are you drawing?" He's like, he goes to an art class and he's like, "I'm gonna draw." Like the teacher's like, who makes shitty non sequiturs, is like, "Draw an orange banana." He's like, "I'm gonna create like a cartoon and the banana has a backpack." And teacher's like, "Why are you doing that? That's not what I told you to do." And all the kids are like, "That's fucking stupid. Why are you doing a jetpack thing?" Right. That's his whole thing. And the last character is Dawn, played by Daniel Brooks, and she's fat, black, and sassy, chat. I'm sorry, but that's what she is. All right? It's like that's what her, like, listen, we need someone who is fat. We need someone other than Jack Black, and we need someone who is black, all right? And we need someone who is sassy. It's like, get her. All right? That's what we need, and that's the function that she plays in the movie. She plays it exactly how you would think. Where something weird happens, she goes, hell no, or a variation of that, all right? That's not me making fun of her. That's exactly what they're doing. And the last character, who essentially is the first we're introduced to, Steve. Steve is kind of the default character from Minecraft you can pick and play as. Well, they have many costumes. He is this kid that just wanted to be a miner, right? And who, he was never able to indulge in that activity as a kid, and he lived like kind of like a sad, lonely life. He's like, fuck it, I want to go mine. And he does so, and he discovers essentially the MacGuffin of the movie that transports him to the overworld, the Minecraft world, right? Where he lives. And then there's a fucking pig. There's a pig queen who doesn't like creativity and doesn't like fun. It's like, I want to take all the fun and all the creativity and destroy it. And I want to go to the overworld and I want to kill everybody and mine gold, right? And so Jack Black, he's like, I can't have that happen because I got all these cool things I made. And so he sends the cube back to the real world. And that's where our 4 fucking misfits, our 4 miserable, sad sacks, one-dimensional stereotypes find it, and then they transport themselves to the world, and they fucking team up with Jack Black, and chaos ensues. It's terrible. It's directed by Jared Hess, who is probably best known for being the director of Napoleon Dynamite. He has done other things like Nacho Libre, which I'm not an enthusiastic fan of, although other people like that movie. He's also done stuff like Gentlemen Broncos, which is like one of the worst fucking comedies I've seen in over these last, I guess 20 years or so. And even though the movie like has moments, like to be positive right here, like there are certain shots in this film and the cinematography where they showcase the beauty of a Minecraft world. Like the forests and the villages and things and the different biomes, right? Because there's different biomes in Minecraft. You have forest environments, you have jungle environments, snow-capped mountains, tundra, deserts. Like all that's there. Like they showcase like the Nether and other places. Like this all looks really good. But outside of that, what's at the forefront is these characters who you just dislike because they all fucking suck. They're just all miserable people or obnoxious people, or as consistent across all of them, they're just loud. They just shout their dialogue that is non sequiturs or modern references. They'll be like something, for example, there'll be like a crazy thing that happens in the movie. Like, oh, they see a skeleton riding a spider. It's like, oh my God, the black lady, she'll go, hell nah, she'll do that, right? They're like, they made sure to put that in. But then, Jason Momoa will make a non sequitur like, oh, that's almost as creepy as my mom saying, like, my thick cheeks are so big that you can play bongos on them, right? It's like stuff like that. It's like, what? They have like crazy cameos of people who just say ridiculous dialogue that are just in and out of the movie like that. It's all so terrible. And there's even though I just kind of praised some of the aesthetics of the film and the background and some of the environments, there are a lot of cases of just awful CGI in this movie, particularly during these flying sequences. And apparently, you guys told me before the review, there's versions of the movie that have been sent to theaters. I don't know if it's widespread or perhaps it is, where there are unfinished effects. And I'll tell you what, chat, like there are multiple sequences in the film where they're flying. And the backgrounds just look so bad and so flat, and it's like so obvious that it's a green screen. Like there's other times where it's like, okay, this is obviously a green screen, but you can tell they spent a lot of time like rendering it and it looks pretty good. And some of these other shots, like this just looks unfinished, and it must have been unfinished because it looks bad and it's very, very noticeable. But even outside the effects, whether they be good or bad, you just don't like being with these characters. Listen, I like Jack Black as an actor. He gets a lot of hate because he has done bad movies. He has. There's no question. But I know he's talented. I know he's a talented singer too. I always, point people in the direction of School Rock or Bernie. You know, those are some of his best films. He's done some other great stuff too, like, you know, the Kung Fu Panda movies I think are very fun. Here, this is just Jack Black. I feel like I believe he is having a good time, but it's just him indulging in all the things that you just associate with Jack Black. Him randomly singing his dialogue for like no apparent reason. Him just breaking out into song like for a funny bit, even though it doesn't call for it. You know, whether it's like, oh, it's like there's a big action scene about to happen, he'll just suddenly start singing. Or there's like, this is an emotional moment where he's talking to his dog, for instance, and he just starts singing a song about Dennis. Dennis, you freed me from my life of mediocrity. Dennis. Like, it's like, why is this happening? You don't need to do this. And it just doesn't work. It's, even though he looks like he's having fun, it's the annoying, cloying kind of Jack Black performance that some people dislike. Jason Momoa, man, he might be the worst character. Now, again, you could be the greatest actor in the world, and if you're given shit script and shit direction, which all these actors certainly were given, you're gonna give a shit performance. But man, this is up there with one of his worst performances that I've ever seen from him, because he's a loser. It's obvious. And he's like not aware of the fact that he's a loser. And if that's like the whole character, but you have to make some part of him charming. You have to like show his competence like within the film. I always kind of go to like Nick Frost, for example, in Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz. Like his characters, you could describe them as losers in both of those movies. Certainly when it comes to Shaun of the Dead. But there's an odd charm that like he still has the backs. He still has the back, for instance, of Simon Pegg's character, where you're still endeared to him because of that. There's like nothing endearing about his character. He's obnoxious to everybody. He's resentful of like Jack Black, Steve's character, who shows competence throughout the film, you know, and the worst of it, like all of his dialogue is just referencing something, you know, like I'm going to make this video game reference, I'm going to make this modern reference, or I'm just going to do a non sequitur joke. And it's just like, anytime they made a non sequitur, it's just dead silence in the theater. You just feel absolutely nothing. It's like, what does that have to do with anything that's happening right now? Like, what is this fucking Family Guy? Why do we have these cutaway gags or something? Or like, you know, just you telling a random bit. It also feels like improv. Or they didn't really have much of a script. And so it's like, let's try different variations of this. Come up with something that's crazy or wild. And they're like, all right, good enough. Let's leave it in there. Emma Myers is Natalie. She's just such a nothing character. Like I forgot she was in the film. I was like, oh yeah, the sister. That's right, of the main kid. That's right, of Henry. She's just like, I'm overworked. I'm starting a new job, and now even though I'm 22 years old, I have to be a mom to like a 15-year-old. It's like that's her mode throughout the entire movie. She doesn't get a funny bit. She doesn't get to say or do anything that's particularly funny. They have a subplot where she's like, I find my calling, which is warfare, I guess, or self-defense. Like, that's the thing they kind of lean into. But it's not amusing at all. And again, Daniel Brooks, fat, black, sassy. That's what she plays. Okay, in this movie. It's like, we needed that. And she's like, I can provide that to you, but that's all you're going to get. And she likes animals. She really likes animals. Outside of it, nothing else. And Sebastian Hasten, whatever his name is, plays Henry. And he's just that kind of kid where I'm a nerd. Maybe I'm autistic, which we were talking about beforehand. And I like to be creative, but no one understands. It's that kind of thing where it's like, you like to fucking be creative and actually do innovative stuff, fucking loser. Why you come on, just go mainstream. You know, just follow the path that has been forced upon you. Don't diverge from the path. Come on, dude, you loser. We're gonna fuck you up. We're gonna beat you up for no reason. Like that kind of thing, right? And he just wasn't very good. I don't know if I've seen him anything else. I'm not sure. But again, what was written for him just wasn't great. There are other actors in this movie. Jennifer Coolidge, she's in the film as well, and they don't have anything for her to do really. Like there's a subplot where one of the villagers, who's like a Squidward essentially, leaves the Minecraft world to go to the real world. And she hits him with, if you saw in the trailer, she hits him with her car, and she's just like, I just want to have sex with you. That's what I want to do. I want to take you to dinner, and, you know, we're going to have wonderful conversations, and so you don't sue me, right? And she talks, and the whole gag with her, it's like, I recently got a divorce. I got a divorce from my husband, Raul, and, you know, we made sweet, passionate love, but he left me for another woman. But you you, Squidward, you're what I want. You're just a really good listener. The villager's like, and the villager doesn't say anything. They just speak gibberish or whatever. She's like, I just feel like I have a connection with you. And that's that subplot. And they occasionally cut to that like every 20 or 25 minutes. And you forget, it's in the movie. And then there's an end credit stinger with them. I got up before I heard it, but I was like, I ain't gonna watch that. There's no reason. There's no reason to. So yeah, if you're a Minecraft fan, I just don't feel like there's a lot here for you. It's like, yeah, they reference certain things. Like Jack Black, like literally does 15 minutes. I know this is one thing I really hate. One thing I hate is when you have a narrator and the narrator is literally describing everything that the character is doing in the scene itself. Right? Usually when you have a narrator, it's like, I'm going to introduce you to the scene. That's like the purpose. Like, I'm going to introduce you to the scene itself, the character itself, get probably a little history. Jack Black is just literally describing everything that we're seeing. It's like, well, what's the point? just get rid of the narrator, and like it would make sense. Like, oh, I get it, okay? And it's like it describes like, I got up in the morning and I went to the mine, and we see fucking Jack Black get up in the morning, goes to the mine, and I mined this area, and I found a cube, and he finds the fucking cube. And I go to this area, and I found this other fucking cube, and then I combined the cubes, and then a portal opened up, and I was sent to the overworld. And there's guys like, shut the fuck up. we see it. I understand. Like, what are you talking about? And that's the first 15 minutes of the film before we get to the other characters in the movie, which it doesn't get much better. And I hate that shit. It is so annoying. I was like, there's no point. You can easily fix it. Just get rid of the narration. I think it's just because it's like, well, Jack Black, he's doing like, yes, and one, yeah, well, he's doing all that. It's like, it's funny when he does that. It's not funny here. And then just the Minecraft of it all. Like, there are moments like, yeah, this is cool. This is interesting. But the way in which they describe it or showcase it, it's not done in a really organic way. It's like, all right, we're going to explain to you how crafting works. And it's like, I feel like you could have done this in a much better way. And they just don't. It's like they're almost like, all right, we got to explain this now. We got to explain that now. It's not natural. It's more like, all right, let's make this reference. Okay, are we done? All right, let's move on to the next non sequitur joke that Jason Momoa is going to do, and he's going to scream. The movie does have a scene that I never expected, where you have, I'll spoil it, doesn't matter. You guys don't give a shit. No one cares. There's a scene where, funny enough, it's one of the worst parts of the movie where they're flying and it's the green screen background, and I never thought I would have seen this. You initially watch Jack Black riding Jason Momoa, like riding him hard, chatting, controlling him, like Ratatouille does in the movie Ratatouille, like the chef, like by pulling on his hair because that can happen, I guess. And then there's one part in the film where they have to go through like a hole that's been blasted through like this giant like wall, and the only way they're gonna go through it apparently is to 69 each other. They got to 69 each other, chat, like. Jack Black's crotch needs to be right in the face of Jason Momoa, and Jason Momoa's crotch needs to be in the face of Jack Black. And like Jason Momoa has to tell me like, hold on to my butt cheeks. I'll just and we do see a shot of Jason Momoa's butt cheeks like clenching, like, and they're pronounced, and you see that, and you see Jack Black go ooh. I was like, what? We see them 69 each other in midair. I'm like, okay. never. That was not on my checklist of like what would probably be in the movie for like an action sequence. It was like, wow, okay. And they get through. But it's like played up for laughs, but you're just more like, God, this is not working whatsoever. It's a miserable experience. And I think it does a disservice to Minecraft and the creative things you could have done with it. None of the characters are fun or interesting. You don't like them. I certainly did not. They're mostly grating and annoying. The humor is just not I think I chuckled once. It was not like a ha. It was more like a ha. It was like what? I couldn't even tell you what it was. I forgot because then like after that it was like 30 more minutes of the movie. I can't remember. Yeah, and then everyone's just kind of one-dimensional and stereotypical, and by the end of it, you just don't really care. You're just like, all right, well, that happened. And and the last thing I'll say, like, we're living in a time where we are getting really good video game adaptations, great video game adaptations. I mean, we're just coming off of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. which the Sonic films keep getting better and better. Sonic 3 was a legitimately really good movie. It was a fun fucking film. It's the best one in the franchise so far. It wasn't in my top 10. It was in my honorable mentions of my favorite movies of last year. Like they're killing it. Like, everyone, Jim Carrey to Keanu Reeves, like, wow, you're getting it right. And then even on the smaller screen, getting video adaptations like Fallout most recently, or Castlevania, or Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I mean, you can name anyone. There's so many good ones now. There is no excuse for bad video game adaptations. That time is done. All right, and you know, people shouldn't like tolerate this, and they're not, and thankfully they're obviously not now, right? They're holding these studios to a task, but this is a shame because I feel like you could do something. Even as someone who's like, I'm not like a fucking mega Minecraft fan. Like I played, I'm like I had my fun with it, and then I'm done. You know, I don't watch Minecraft series, but I know that a lot of people love this, and you can be creative and fun with it, and they just choose not to be. It's just a shitty fucking action adventure comedy, and that has nothing going for it. So, yeah, Minecraft movie is one of the worst movies of 2025 so far. I don't encourage you guys. I discourage you to see it. Spend your money elsewhere. There's better things to play. Just play Minecraft. Have your own adventures with your friends playing the game. But man, it is so bad. But what about you guys? I'm actually very curious. Did you guys see it? I doubt it. You know, you saw it. Did you like the film? There's nothing wrong with that. And again, everything's subjective. Were you more mixed out? Or did you like me? Did you just fucking hate it? You just wish it was over, you know? Did you have a screaming child in your audience who was narrating the film? It was so funny. God, it was like a narration within a narration, because Jack Black was narrating everything that he was doing, and the kid was narrating everything Jack Black was saying while Jack Black was narrating everything he was doing. It was crazy. It was like Inception. It's like, oh my God, layers within layers, worlds within worlds. It was nuts. Breaking the fourth wall, chap. But yeah, it's not a good movie. Not a good movie at all.